extra pep in the step from the boys today after yesterday's news?
Yeah, it certainly was. Coming in this morning, there's a bit of excitement and extra energy around, and it's been building. And the players are, after 2 weeks off, they're on leave for a couple of weeks, and to get the news within 3 days of back at training this week's fantastic.
So we sort of knew that if it was going to happen that you would be part of the competition, but what was your sort of feeling and what was their feeling in the days leading up to it?
Yeah, I think until it does come out, you're still a little bit edgy around whether it is going to go ahead, and there's obviously been a lot going on with a lot of things, but particularly Rugby Australia. And I think for everyone it's just fantastic to get some good positive news out there, and it's put a smile on a lot of people's faces. Not even here, worldwide. I've had messages come through from ex-players, from East Coast Super Rugby clubs, coaches, a whole lot. So it's just good to get some good news.
Any ex-players that still play that could maybe come over and be reinforcements for you?
Yeah, look, there's a bit happening, isn't there? Player movement in all sports, but I've certainly focused just on our squad, which is really important, considering what we've been through. So first and foremost, making sure these guys are settled, and look, they're just chomping at the bit to get out and train and play. So,
is it hard to judge how competitive you've been because you sort of haven't been part of that competition for a few years? And do you think you can be competitive with what you've got now?
Yeah, we spoke about that, about what we can gauge ourselves on against the other teams, and we also had a good NRC competition, and the opposition teams in NRC rolled out Sundays 15, 16 contracted players within their squads. So we've discussed that, but we're under no illusions that we have to improve as well individually. But the staff put a great amount of effort into this last 6 weeks, making sure that for our prep we're on point, and we're focusing to be the best prepared team in Australia.
It is going to be a big challenge, but one you're going to embrace.
Yeah, no doubt, and I think with away from the rugby, just the excitement about it, being able to play against the Super Rugby clubs again and teams within your country is really important. But I think we know who we play for as well. Our fans and our members and our stakeholders are really important to us, and we're playing for a lot of people.
Just adjust some of these guys to show what they've got to on a bigger stage, just not against a Super Rugby club.
Yeah, certainly. I think we've had players who are still with us now that were here in 2017, and for a number of years before that, we've recruited players who were coming through pathway systems at other clubs and got them over here, and they love it here. So they're part of our club now, and which I think also builds excitement to them having the opportunity to go back and play against their former clubs.
It also opened the door to some of the local players that you've brought in, particularly this season, had no experience at that rapid rugby level, let alone super level.
No, that's right. And having 12 players contracted in our squad this year who have come through our club system or pathway system, that's why they've retained here and stayed in Perth is for this day, this opportunity to come and play against Super Rugby clubs. Yeah.
Mark said yesterday that there are a pool of players that are available or could become available because of different circumstances. How many do you think sort of bigger name players do you think you'll recruit or chase, and how many do you need?
Yeah, it's like I said before, it's just I think focusing on our guys is really important, and the well-being for us is important, and their attitude and application has been fantastic. I think in most positions we've got really good coverage. We've got experience through the guys that were brought up through our academies. We've got 34 guys here at the moment, and all are on deck, bar one. And I can't fault their application and attitude, so they deserve an opportunity.
So maybe sticking with them as opposed to spending up big and trying to buy the biggest and best players.
Yeah. First and foremost, we look after our own backyard, and then see what happens. We are travelling. We're fortunate at the moment where we do have 33 guys on deck, but obviously things can change pretty quick. We don't want that to happen. But yeah, it's something that may have to happen out of our control. Yeah.
Have you had a thought about hubs? We know AFL players are going to the Gold Coast. Do you know where you could possibly be based? It's going to come pretty quick now.
It will. That'll accelerate all that sort of planning, and we have pre-planned for that, and following the other sports. there is a likely possibility that we will have to go into some form of hub. When we see the draw come out, hopefully within the next 5 days, we'll be able to plan to a bit more detail. But I think Central Coast, New South Wales, would be beautiful, near a golf course.
If you're allowed to play golf.
Yeah, true.
But that in itself is going to be a challenge for some of the players who probably haven't even been on a tour for more than 2 or 3 weeks. You could be there for 10 weeks, 12 weeks.
Yeah, it's probably maximum scenario is something we've looked at. We went away last week throughout Asia for 3.5 weeks, and most of these guys travelled with us on that tour. So it can be, and that brings its own new challenges if we do have to stay there for an extensive period. But we're planning for all different scenarios, and again, the organisation has been on point with that, so the players are full aware of what could potentially happen.
Nice if they lifted the borders and you could play a few games back here, wouldn't it?
It'd be nice, yeah, and then allow our fans into the stadium, but even to play on the home deck is pretty important, and there's nothing like playing at home, especially at HBF Park.
Oh, it's been made about how unfair it was when the Force were kicked out. Do you have a little bit of extra added pressure on yourselves as a team to be competitive straight away, now that you've been given this little bit of an opportunity to get back in a sort of a Super Rugby competition? Yeah,
I think so, Lockie. Yeah, without a doubt, there is going to be pressure there, and we'll put that and discuss it. But we know we're going to be under pressure. It's how we prepare for that, train for that, and then when we do play, is how we apply that with what we've discussed and planned for. So, yeah, we'll be under pressure internally. It's sort of that extra motivation, I think, as well, that we want to perform well, and you've been craving this for a couple of years. So.
And the players have been craving it, so I suppose for a period of July through to September, it's a nice little patch for them to use all the adrenaline and excitement that they can to have an impact. That's
right, and I think we're used to those those sprint tournaments. NRC, most of the squad's been together since NRC last year, and we're obviously successful there. So it is a sprint tournament, and we'll hit the ground running and do the job and get back to Perth.
The basics of the game we know are pretty much the same in both rapid and super rugby. Is it going to be hard to switch from what you've been training for into the standard rules, if you like?
Yeah, there certainly is adjustments that have to be made with our game, but again, referring to NRC, we had to do that. Going from rapid rugby last year into NRC, and you do change things up, definitely. They're only little tweaks. We really enjoy playing under rapid rugby rules. It's a really good brand of footy. I think we're comfortable having to adapt to Super Rugby laws. Hopefully there's a couple of changes in there too.
How are you feeling, sort of getting your taste of it as well?
Yeah, it's good, Lockie. The part of our focus through the peak of COVID was keeping the guys motivated, and as leaders, as staff members, was to show a lot of empathy towards the players and also their families. And I think again, this organisation was superb in that regard. So I'm glad we're through it, and I'm just glad for the players, because it was hard for them, and different players went through different emotions. Week 2, week 4, week 6, they're all different, and that was a challenge for us to manage. But our leadership group is fantastic. Senior players here are brilliant, and they took a lot of responsibility amongst themselves to make sure that the younger guys were okay, that the players that don't have family here, the leadership group led that, and we've come out of it really well.
I say this with tongue in cheek, but Jack Bendad always rings Trevor Blessing at the start of the season and says, championship or bust. You haven't had Twiggy on the phone in the last 24 hours? No,
not yet. He's been, I think you can imagine his past few months, he's been so busy with around numerous things, but I'll hopefully sit down and have a good chat to him over the next month, and his vision is superb, and that's what I really enjoy about Andrew, the organisation, the Minderoo organisation through to here. The vision by our leader is superb.
Also redemption, both for the club and for him.
There's a bit there, Nick, that all we can do and want to focus on is going out and doing our best for Andrew and obviously WA.
Just a couple of players in our current squad, obviously playing on this level. Who would you say to look out for in the game coming up?
Yeah, having 33 players on deck's fantastic because hopefully we give them all opportunity. But I think someone like Byron Ralston, the outside back, is tracking really well. He's part of the Australian under-20 squad this year before that unfortunately got cancelled. So he's one to watch, I think. Jack McGregor, I think he's had a taste of Super Rugby squad exposure and what it takes. So I think he's a guy that can really lead by the front. He's part of our leadership group now, so I think he'll adapt pretty well to this and have a good tournament. And then you rely on guys like Jeremy Thrush, your senior players, Ian Pryor, Marcel Braschi. They're going to be hugely important to us.
What sort of squad do you think you'll need over this period? Have you worked out the numbers? You say you got 33, 34. Is that the sort of number, or do you think it can climb to 40?
Yeah, I think, fingers crossed, we don't have to go much deeper than that, but it's generally how you travel. It's pretty consistent across the board, and we've got a few good academy guys that we could probably call on as well, that we can bring up if needed. So, yeah, I think that sort of number for a 10-week tournament should be okay.